I can't tell you how wonderful it is to be here with all of you. This is just a thrill for us to be, first of all, in this wonderful hall where we all love to play, and to have a live audience again after so many months. It's really stirring for everybody on this stage. So thank you for being here, and thank you for being such great people and supporting this band. Yeah, give yourselves a round. It actually feels pretty full. That's great. We are here to celebrate the music of such a titan in the jazz world. And we had Mr. McBride here with us back in 2017, and it was one of the greatest experiences of our band. And we turned right around and asked if he would write some music for us and come back and play. You know all about him. He's played with every big name in jazz and continues to be one of the great leaders, a true titan in the jazz world. Please welcome to the stage Christian McBride.
Michael Van Beveren on the tenor saxophone, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my bad. Jay Thomas. Now, Michael, come here. He screwed all my notes up. Who just played?
That was Michael Van Beveren on the trumpets. Yeah.
See, he has on my paper, I know Jay, he didn't play on this. Look at this before I continue. Is the rest of this correct? Well, if it ain't, blame it on him. Folks, I cannot tell you how overwhelming this is. The last time I was on a stage with my instrument, not in my place of residence, was in, I think it was March 9th, 2020, and I was in Europe with Chick Corea. And how life has changed since March 9th, 2020. And for the last 15 months, we've all been close to home, trying to keep ourselves healthy, trying to keep our loved ones healthy. And just a few days ago, I get on an airplane with my bass to come to my first gig in 15 months. And I want to tell you, I'm very, very glad it's here in Seattle, because I've had a wonderful history with this town. I played here for the very first time 30 years ago. I was 19 years old and I was playing with Benny Green, and the week was memorable for many reasons, but just getting to know Seattle so well over the last 30 years. I love you guys, I love the town, I love this band, and so thank you, Michael, thank you, Orchestra, thank you, City of Seattle, for making my return to the stage here. Really appreciate that. That song that we opened the concert with was an original composition of mine called The Shade of the Cedar Tree. I wrote that song many years ago in honor of the late great pianist Cedar Walton. And we like to continue with an old standard that we hope you will enjoy, something I arranged. And this is Broadway. Thank you very much. Thank you. We'd like to continue with another original composition of mine. I wrote this song originally for my small group, Inside Straight, and then arranged it for my big band shortly thereafter. The title of this song is a phrase which you may have heard at a barbecue or a family reunion, particularly if you're black, just saying what it is. This is a phrase that you very much hear in black picnics, in the church. I suppose if you have relatives from the country, you'll hear this phrase, but that phrase is used to could. And that used to crack me up in Thanksgiving dinner when my uncles and aunts would start playing pinochle, and they would reminisce about the old days. And when they would reminisce, they always talk about what they used to could do. And I would die laughing. I'd be under the table, busting the gut, laughing at all these used to coulds. So in honor of that, this is used to could. Dan Marcus on the trombone, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Dugdale on the baritone saxophone. Yeah. Both of those gentlemen brought all the country biscuits and fatback on those solos. You all should feel very full after that. Neck bones, ham hocks, candy yams, turnips. Speaking of blues, we're going to continue with some more. This song is going to be extra special because we're going to have some double bass. Brother Phil Sparks is on stage. Let's see, we have a few soloists who are going to be able to get some on this. Sister Sydney Hauser is going to play some on this. Bill Anthony, Travis Ranney, and Brother Jerome Smith. This piece is this is the very first big band chart I ever wrote in 1995. A man who's been like a big brother to me. Frankly, he's been like a big brother or little brother to all of us who know him. That's Wynton Marsalis. He asked me to write this piece for the Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra back in 1995. And I said, man, I've never written for big band before. He said, well, congratulations. Now's your chance. Get it together. And so this piece is called Bluesin' in Alphabet City. Phil, Jerome, Travis, Bill, Sydney. Yeah.
Let's hear it again for Phil Sparks on the bass. Phil Sparks. You know, it's a hard thing when we rehearse this whole show, and Phil has been here working with us on all of his great music, and then he has to turn it over to another bassist for the main part of the show. And so we really appreciate his hard work helping us prepare this. We get to hear a little more from Phil later on in the concert. Before we continue on, I have some folks I really want to thank for special support that comes to this orchestra. First of all, we have some wonderful organizations that support us here. I'm talking about the Arts Fund and King County for Culture and the Seattle Office of Arts and Culture, Washington State Arts Commission, and Earshot Jazz. Those are all organizations that are here represented in the audience tonight. So I'd like you to give them a warm round of applause. Now, we also have in the house with us some of the special donors who made the commissioning of this next work possible, and I'd like you to recognize them as well and give them your thanks. We have sitting up here in some of the booths or some of the box seating, Ken and Karen Jones and Jerry Zimmerman and Jane Stevens, and also Bill Newcomb and Sally Newcomb. The Newcombs could not be here with us tonight, but we thank them for their support of the band and for making this next piece possible, a new commission by Christy McBride. Let's give them a hand. And many of you who are here in this audience tonight are donors and supporters of this group, and we thank you so much. And subscribers, we thank you so much for being here with us through the pandemic, and we look forward to lots more concerts together with you. And back to you, Mr. McBride.
Please tell them what the piece is.
Oh, okay, so a couple of years ago, we asked Christian if we could commission him to write a work for us, and he said he would be very happy to. After he had done the 2017 concert, he knew what we could do and who our soloists were and what he might want to write for us. So this next piece is based on the jazz classic by John Coltrane, that is Giant Steps, and except he took it into a new key and called it Familiar Steps. And we'll get to hear some from Travis Ranney, and also some from Milo Peterson, some from Randy Halberstadt, some from Jay Thomas, and there's somebody else I'm leaving out. Devon Lewis is going to play. Yes, Devon Lewis is going to play. All right, and so here it is, Familiar Steps.
World premiere.
World premiere. Christian McBride, the composer, and bassist extraordinaire, Christian McBride. Randy Halberstadt on piano, Milo Peterson on guitar, Travis Raney, Jay Thomas on the trumpet, Devon Lewis on the drums.
Thank you, Michael, and really thanks to all of you for, again, giving me an opportunity to come here and play. Michael for leading this incredible band, all of the supporters of this incredible orchestra. Please keep this orchestra going. I'm telling you. And thanks for, the gig of writing, got to write a new chart and made a little extra dough, so I'm cool. I still got to learn. Those steps aren't quite familiar yet, but I'm going to get it together by the next time we play it. This next song that we're going to play is a original composition that I wrote. It's kind of hard to call it a composition because it was more of a groove than an actual song. My oldest friend in music is the great Joey DeFrancesco. We grew up together in Philadelphia. We went to we played in a middle school jazz ensemble together, and then we went to high school together for 4 years. And we were Batman and Robin all through high school. And how fortunate was I to go to school every day with a guy like that, just watch him burn on the piano every day, and then almost single-handedly bring the organ back to prominence. So, yeah, that's right. Give it up for Joey. So one day, we found out that Dr. Billy Taylor was going to come to Settlement Music School to give a master class, and our youth ensemble had to play for him, and he would critique us. And so Joey and I said, man, we need to come up with something. We could play something out of the real book, but we need to actually come up with something. So let's think of the funkiest blues groove we could think of. Just even if there's no melody, just the groove is going to get them. And so we came up with this thing, and do not ask me what the title means. I think when we wrote this song in 1985, I think the first Cinnabon had just opened in Center City, Philadelphia. And so we used to go there after school every day and get fat. And Philadelphia is also the home of, I don't know if you know about Tasty Cakes, but I think it's the junk food capital of the world. So anyway, because of that, we named the song Pie Blues. Go figure. Pie, Cinnabon, whatever, Crimpets, whatever. It's Pie Blues, and this is going to feature, you said there's just two, right?
Phil's back on. Ren.
Oh yeah, we got Phil back. Give Phil Sparks a round of applause. Randy Halberstadt, you gonna play on this? That's it? Okay, enjoy Pie Blues.
The indomitable trombone section, Dan Marcus on lead trombone, Bill Anthony on trombone, David Bentley on the bass trombone, and over here, Jerome Smith on the tuba, and Michael Van Beber on the plunger mute trumpet. Michael Van Beber. And once again, Phil Sparks, ladies and gentlemen, Phil Sparks.
Michael, you think it'd be safe for me to tell the audience that compliment I got from that piece? It's probably cool, right?
Yeah, I think it's cool.
This is the greatest compliment I've ever gotten in my life. We played that chart at a concert early 2020. By the way, that song is featured on my most recent big band recording for Jimmy, Wes, and Oliver, which features Joey DeFrancesco and our old friend Mark Whitfield on the guitar. But anyway, we played Pie Blues, and this woman comes up after the set was over and says, "That song made me feel like stripping." I said, that's the greatest compliment I could have ever gotten in my life. She said, I wanted to go find some pasties somewhere, and I was like, yeah. So we'll see what happens if we play that song at a jazz festival somewhere. We like to continue with, speaking of Wes, in the Jimmy, Wes, and Oliver, Wes, of course, being Wes Montgomery. I love so much of his music. Not only was he just a groundbreaking guitarist, but he was also quite a great composer as well. And this is a song of his that I arranged for my previous big band recording called Bringin' It, and we hope you enjoy Full House. Mark Taylor on the tenor saxophone. Milo Peterson on the guitar. Thank you very much. Full house. That brings us to our conclusion. We're going to play one more song for you. But before we play that last song, I would like to give specific thanks to Michael Brockman and all of the great things that he does with this orchestra and all of the support that you give this orchestra. Take away COVID, which is, almost impossible to do. This country has been doing a very hard reassessment on its history. And, Juneteenth is now an official holiday. While that is really awesome, we also need to really be conscious of our hearts and minds. It's good to have a holiday, but we can't forget what these holidays actually stand for, and the pain and suffering that this country, the people in this country, particularly poor people, have had to go through to make this country, stick together, and so while I'm happy about their holiday, always be conscious of people who are in need. Be mindful. Be nice to people. Keep in mind what's most important. I want to say what I'm going to say because it specifically involves an incident that happened here, not at Benaroya Hall, but here in Seattle about 4 years ago, last time I played with the orchestra. I had a conversation with someone about this orchestra. I believe this person was a supporter of the orchestra, or maybe a former supporter of the orchestra. And he pulled me aside and he said, Christian, I don't want you to be offended by this, but what I'm going to tell you is just the absolute truth. And I got curious. I was like, I don't hear the absolute truth too often. I get to hear it from you, whoever you are. He said, while I love this orchestra, they need to play more music by white composers. And I said, why is that? He wasn't tense when he said it. He was like telling me this as if this is really fact. He says, well, listen, let's be real. Christian, the people who support this orchestra are white. White people come to the concerts. The folks who have the money are white. Most of the musicians are white. We need to hear the music of white composers. That's just what it is. If that happens, we'll get more support. I said, that's the absolute truth, huh? So that's like, I always thought of absolutes like, if I jump out of a 30-story building and I land, I'm probably going to die. That's an absolute truth. But what you just said, it doesn't feel like absolute truth. And so I relayed this conversation to Michael, and his face turned about as red as that light up on the wall there. And what I'd like to thank Michael and this whole orchestra for is that every time any African-American musician says or reminds everyone that jazz is black music, every now and then you get a raised eyebrow, like, well, white people have made contributions also. I like to think of it as black music, black culture is the mother of American culture. American music is black music. I think of the most powerful, I can imagine what it's like for a woman to carry a child for 9 months and actually give birth. Yes, the father had something to do with it, but that miracle of giving birth to something, we can't do that. Men can't do that. Only women can do that. And the mother of American culture is black music. So yes, there have been a lot of non-black musicians who have made some incredible contributions to this music, and Michael recognizes that. And no matter what that man said, he's always playing Monk, Coltrane, Miles Davis. He understands that those musicians gave birth to great American culture. So I thank you for not listening to that dude, Michael. So with that being said, we're going to play our last number for the evening. It's a song that was inspired by the godfather of soul, Mr. James Brown. And this song almost got me in trouble with him, but instead we wound up being friends, thank God. The original James Brown song was called Get It Together. And so I took that groove and I put a new melody on top of it, and I called it Getting To It. So we hope you enjoy Getting To It. Nathan Breedlove is going to play on this. Milo Peterson again on the guitar. And our resident Maceo Parker, Michael Brockman himself, is going to play on alto. This is Getting To It.
Christian McBride. Milo Peterson on the guitar. Nathan Breedlove on the trumpet. Yours truly, Michael Brockman, and the Seattle Repertory Jazz Orchestra. Once again, Christian McBride. The maestro. To the bar. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Let's bring him out once more, Christian McBride. And thank you again for that wonderful new piece, Familiar Steps, and all your great music. Christian McBride. Well, we have promised that we would work under very tight time constraints, and so we do not have an encore for you. For those of you who have joined us from home, we thank you for tuning in, and those of you who missed it can watch it. Well, they're not listening anyway right now, but they can watch the same as a video on demand throughout this entire week. And you also are welcome to watch the video from your homes for the next 7 days. So we hope you'll tune in and enjoy it all over again. Thank you so very much for being here with us live. We love you, and we can't wait to see you again. Good night.